Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Raw Reality podcast. We missed you. It's been a week. It's been a few days.
It actually has been a few days.
We recorded an episode on Monday, and we're back.
We are back, and we're recording one ahead each week, purely for the sake of like helping out our producers because the turnaround was like quite quick.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've got to get reels out and stuff. So just to have one ahead is easier for the back end stuff, but then we also don't like it because it's not as up to date.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be fine.
As long as we kind of keep it consistent, you'll just be a few weeks behind our lives, but that's okay.
Yeah. It'll be like 1 week.
Yeah, which is so fine. Okay, Tori, you have so much to update us on in terms of going to Sydney over the past weekend.
Yes, I haven't written any notes, so let's just go off my head.
Okay.
So I went to Sydney last weekend to film for Jackson's footy. I've posted a vlog about it, so if you want the visuals of it, go watch the vlog. It's quite chaotic. It's so fun. It's probably one of my favourite vlogs. But yeah, went to Sydney, flew in the Friday morning, and let's just put it straight up. I got the whole road to myself, and then I booked my Uber, and I got this big luxurious van that was like the comfiest thing I've ever sat in, and he didn't speak English, so it was just silent the whole way, I had my headphones on, but it was lovely. And then we went to a photography studio with my managers and all the girls, shot a fair bit of content, and it was more just for everyone to catch up, to be honest, because we hadn't caught up since Thailand. And then stayed with Erin, went to the gym, did a conditioning session, which I actually loved.
Really?
And I'm missing the conditioning.
Yeah, and I like conditioning versus cardio, the same, but in terms of cardio, it's not running, you're not doing the stairs.
Well, the workout was
fun.
So the first 20 minutes is pretty chill. We did overhead squats, so you're working up to your 1 RM. So it's real slow, you're having your rest. And then the second half of the workout, which was the I can't remember what they call it, but it was it started for 100 reps and went down to 10, and it started with
like a pyramid.
Yeah, so it was there was skipping, sit-ups, front squats, whatever. And it was hard, but you could do it at your own pace, so it was good. Just loved it. So I'm where can I, and even just walk into a class environment, vibes are high, everyone's supporting you, just
get in, get out.
Yeah, so I'm where can I do that? And then, had Jackson's game, filmed his game in the really wrong settings, but the content was still usable, thank fuck, for his vlog. I also missed his goal for the second week in a row.
Perfect.
So round one is tomorrow as we're recording. So I am on probation. I have to do a really good job.
I'm actually so sad that I can't come to round one tomorrow.
Same.
I know.
But you'll be there next week.
I will.
And this week has gone really fast.
Yeah, it has. It's
really
Friday.
Fast. Yeah. To be honest, I'm really disappointed in myself in terms of routine. It's kind of gone out the window. And I think since booking stuff for LA, because in the morning, the people I'm talking with over there, whether it's hotels or even just organizing things, their time, I talk to them in the morning, almost straight away. So it's just been easier, but there's just been no real routine. I've just been flat, but also happy, and it's just been a weird fucking week.
I hate those weeks where it's weird. I'm not sad, but I'm not overly excited. I'm just here.
Yeah.
And I have kind of noticed that as well in terms of your routine, but it's also you're not coming from a point of being lazy.
Yeah.
It's coming from a point of I actually have other things to do, and it's okay for your routine to go out the window sometimes, so other things to come up.
Literally.
But yeah, it does make it hard.
Yeah. So I've slept, have I done a sunrise this week? Monday.
I think we only did Monday.
Yeah. And I've slept until 6:30 every morning. I even slept through my alarm on Wednesday morning and missed Pilates.
And that's also when you know you're tired.
Yeah.
You need that
sleep. I just
sleep.
felt so tired, and we'll go into it more into the episode, but yeah, just things with business, and there's just a whole heap going on. And so even after last week's or 2 weeks ago's episode, when I announced that I'm moving to LA, going to LA, instantly kind of after I was fuck, do I want to go to LA? There was just all these mixed feelings, and then a situation came up where a couple of girls weren't coming anymore, and it was just what do I want to do? Am I making the right decision? And I just was I actually don't fucking know. And I sat with it for a few days, and then I posted that reel to almost make myself just commit. And I was I know for a fact if I don't go, I'm going to be sitting here regretting that I didn't go. And I don't want to get to 80 and fucking be why didn't I go to LA for that 10 days?
Literally. And you're going to be doing everything the same here just in another country.
Yeah, and then that was another thing. I was like, well, why do I need to go away if I'm going to do the same thing? I'm like, no, Tori, just fucking stop.
Just go.
Yeah, I'm going to LA and I'm going and I don't care.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, get me overseas. Like, I don't know. It's just been like a whole ordeal. Like, it's just,
I think that has
everywhere.
also been very mentally taxing for you, even subconsciously, and that's probably why you're exhausted. Okay, you may not be doing 5 a.m.s and all of these things, but mentally exhausted, and it's playing a toll on you.
Yeah, 1,000%. But that's pretty much me. I'm on my third cycle of my herbs with my current block. So this is like the last cycle. So I'll probably have a call with her whilst I'm in the States. So it's like the same time zone. To figure out what the plan is moving forward from here.
Your skin is looking unreal.
Thank you so
much. It's helping insane amounts.
Yeah. I had a few breakouts on my left side, but I think because of like the Sydney trip and like just not eating, the same things, which like I kind of expected and I know is going to happen. So it's just making sure as soon as I'm home, I'm back on my grind. But overall, like feeling good in myself, skin, body, training, like all that is good. It's just like life.
Yeah. Life is lifing.
Yeah, it really is. How about you?
I feel like there's a fair few updates because I had the past week and then this week.
Yes.
There wasn't heaps to update on in terms of like I didn't go to Sydney or anything, but just like lots of little things. First off, starting with prep, I am nearly 4 weeks out. That's
wild.
So interesting. That's crazy. And I'm actually getting so excited now. It's like the motivation is kind of coming back up. The past 2 weeks, I've hated every training session. I've hated every cardio session. I have not been having fun. But it's going to happen, right? I'm kind of starting to get sick of training. I'm over it. And not from a place of like physically, mentally fatigued. I'm just like, I have been doing the same thing day in, day out. And sometimes you just need a break. But it's also knowing that not every Olympian in the world wants to go to training every day. And you just do it. You just show up and autopilot turns on and you just get it done. You just don't think, you just do. So that's what I've been doing the past 2 weeks. And I finally had a good session yesterday and a good cardio session today. So I'm like, okay, cool. Getting the ball rolling again. And sometimes you just got to keep showing up and it eventually gets good again. Super random. So you know how I think a few episodes ago I said I got my period and I wasn't expecting it in terms of I was like, I may have lost it. Well, I got it again. So I got it twice in the month.
Yeah.
Beck explained it to me in terms of like my hormones and everything and what happens when one goes higher and one goes lower. I'm taking some like estrogen supplements to make sure that like my hormones are healthy. And because I've been doing that and the other things have fallen down possibly, that's why.
Yeah. How long did it last for?
3 days.
Yeah.
3 days, super light, but I got it twice in 1 month and I was like, interesting. So that was that. The start of the week was like I really struggled physically and mentally, I would say. I was very tired and just like, let's just say the universe really did some character building.
Yeah, it really tested you.
It really tested me. It was like, you know what? Let's see how much like we can rock you and how much you can keep pushing on. And universe, I showed up. I still did everything I had to do. So good try.
Yeah.
The other thing that Tori and I decided was that Aries, everything happened pretty much Monday, but Aries started a new moon on the Monday night. And basically everything was saying that you had to have a clean slate starting on Tuesday, entering Aries season. I'm like, that's why. Had to get everything out at the start of the week. So I woke up and I was good to go. Is that delusional? Maybe. Is it getting me through? Yes. And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So yeah, I also got my iMac.
Oh, she did.
I did, and it is so fun. It's actually easier to edit some things, but harder to be fast. Because you can't, the mouse and the trackpad, not as fast.
I think it's just getting used to it.
100%. Yeah. It's a lot bigger than I thought in terms of like, I think I need to push it back or something because it's really close, but highly recommend.
Yeah.
It's just like, I want to work because I feel like the it girl, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a slay. What else? Oh, my friend Mackenzie came over the weekend. She's a flight attendant and basing in Queensland for 2 weeks. So she stayed with me over the weekend, which was so fun. If you are an OG, you would know us from cheerleading when we both were in Cali Girls. Like, we used to be best friends, and we're still definitely close, but not as probably close as we used to be. And it was just fun hanging out over the weekend. Literally, we hardly ever speak. And then when she
That's what I was
here,
going to say. Like, it's so nice when you have those friends. It's like you hardly ever speak, but when you do, it's the same.
It's so chill.
Yeah.
And you don't feel like you have to constantly do something and be like this and this. It's just like you can sit in silence and it's good.
Yeah.
So that was actually so nice to have her up over the weekend. What else? Oh, my reading era. So
Oh, yeah.
I finished the Twisted series. Oh my God. If you are going to read anything, I highly recommend reading that. Took me 4 weeks to finish 4 books, which I'm very impressed with, especially when 2 of them were like 500 pages long.
Yep.
So very happy with myself there. I'm currently reading Hopeless by Colleen Hoover, which is basically an in-between book before I start Iron Flame, because I was like, Iron Flame's huge. I need something small to just like get me through, and an easy read. I do like it, but the start of the book is a bit basic and a bit like, come on, hurry up. It's like high school type vibe. And then I have heard, and I can kind of get the sense that something huge is about to happen. There's about to be a plot twist. So I'm actually halfway through now, and I think it's about to get better. But yeah, I'm going to start Iron Flame this weekend, which I'm keen for. But it's fucking ginormous.
I'm kind of off my reading era at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've just been in my business era. So
yeah, exactly.
It's just not happening.
And I haven't been in my business era, so I'm like in my reading era.
Yeah,
I'm in a bit of both. But other than that, that's me. Start of the week was shit, to be honest. End of this week, I'm feeling so much better and just really prioritizing myself at the moment, being in my own energy, especially after a few weeks ago when we did the Alone episode. I really actually took on board everything we said, and I'm just thriving.
So many people loved that episode.
Loved that episode.
Someone booked a trip to Bali by herself.
I saw that.
Yes. I was so proud. Loved that so much.
Yeah.
And then someone else said, she sent me like a massive paragraph, and it was just one of those moments where it's like, fuck, like
making impact.
Yeah. It was just a wow moment. And I was like, good on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it is so important. And if I'm single for the next 5 years, honestly, slay, because I love spending time alone at the moment. But that's me.
What's your plans this weekend?
My plans this weekend? Oh, I have a posing clinic tomorrow in Underwood, which is an hour away apparently.
Yes.
So that will take up my whole day, and then I have cardio and training. So that will be my whole morning. Won't get home till the afternoon, and then I'll be dead. Yeah. So that's my plan.
Okay, perfect. Because I will have probably train and footy in the morning, tomorrow, and then I want to do nothing, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing Sunday.
I say I'm going to do it and then I don't.
No, Sunday I hate when you were like, I'm going to do all these things over the weekend. Sometimes I don't want to do anything. And that's this weekend. On Sunday, I'm actually not doing anything besides I think I want to get my nails done, clean my car.
Yeah, I want to clean the house, my bathroom.
I just want to relax.
Yeah. Like I want to put the mattress in the lounge room and watch a movie and do absolutely nothing.
Oh, that's a vibe. Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay. Moving on. We have a quick little lighthearted shower thought today because our episode is quite deep. Yeah. And then we've got a serious shower thought for next week. Yeah. Go on.
Okay. Did you know, this is from our producer, Huntine, that he was shocked when he told us the other day, pickles are just cucumber in water or vinegar in something.
Yeah.
So pickles and cucumbers are the same thing. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
See, I did know that.
Yeah.
Do you like pickles?
No.
You don't like pickles?
No.
Not in anything?
No.
Okay, see, I love pickles in a burger, in a McDonald's burger. Oh, it hits different.
I think maybe if I tried it now, I might. But when I was a kid, pickles out of everything.
Yeah. Oh, I was the same. I'd give my pickles to my mum.
Yeah.
But I hate the big pickles that people just chomp on.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. Yeah. I can't do that. I can't chew on a pickle like that. But
it's like I can chew on a cucumber like that.
See, I can't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is so random. Do you like coriander?
No. Yuck.
See, I love coriander. I woke up one day and loved it.
No, I hate the smell of it. I hate the taste of it. And then it contaminates all your food, and then all your food tastes like coriander.
That's like olives.
Yeah.
Olives just like
See, I don't like olives, but I like the juice of olives.
Huh?
So I used to make pasta and like put olives in for the taste, but then take the actual olives out.
So interesting. I tell you, I actually saw, I don't know if I was watching Ome's vlog, and she had just on the random food topic, YoPro yogurt, and she drank the liquid.
She did. I saw that. That was disgusting.
I was like, Liv, what are you doing?
But apparently it's got all the good nutrients in it. And I was like, I actually could vomit.
That makes me feel ill. Like, you need to mix that.
Yeah, always mix.
Yeah.
Or pour it down the drain. That's what I do.
Okay, that was our random little fruit chat for this week.
Absolutely. Okay, so today's episode is all about anxiety in your 20s, I guess working through what I like to call it a quarter life crisis, being more present, shaming yourself, all the things.
Yeah.
And this came up because we're both feeling that well and truly at the moment. But also I was listening to a podcast by the Mindset Mentor, and the caption of the episode is how to stop what looks like shitting on yourself, but it actually says shoulding on yourself. So we'll get into that later, but this is kind of where this stemmed from for me. And then I sent it to Lil. She's like, that's how I'm feeling, so let's talk about it. I was like, stunning. So where would you like to start?
We have so many notes
We
here,
do.
there, and
Wow,
everywhere.
we really have so many.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
just a bit combined.
Let's just work through it.
Okay, let's start with feeling lost,
Yeah.
because I think that is very evident in your 20s. Is you can get so caught up in what do I want to do, and you feel like you have to make a decision, and there's a lot more pressure on it in your 20s than at school. At school, you're like, okay, yeah, everyone's forcing me to make a decision. What do I want to do for uni? You do that. You still have lots of time. We still have lots of time. We're not saying we don't. But when you kind of hit mid-20s, you're like, okay, what am I actually doing? And what life path do I want to go down? And the things start to get serious. You're 21, you're not saving for a house. You're 25, 26, you're like, oh, should I? And then you start to spiral and you're like, but I don't have enough money, but I want to go to LA. But then you get caught up in your head.
Yeah, I think like when I think about it, so I feel like our generation growing up in school, it was such a stigma around go to school, go to uni, find your partner, engaged, married, buy a house. Yeah, like that's the timeline, and it was like quite like young. And now I feel like this generation growing up now, I feel like it definitely has changed in terms of like there is so many different things, and people are kind of taking the pressure off, you know, having to buy a house by 23 or whatever it is. And there's just so many different avenues you can go down, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that like you feel that. Like, I think our generation definitely feel that. And, like, when you do get to your mid-20s, it's like you have friends doing all of it. You have friends buying a house. You have friends starting a really successful business. You have friends that are still absolutely chilling, not giving a fuck. You have friends still living at home. Like, you've got all dynamics going on. Yeah. Generally, whether you're, like, close with them or you just know of them or they're in your circle. But it's like you just get to some days where it's like, what the fuck am I actually doing? Like, what am I up to?
What am I up to? I also feel like you can be on the right path and you can know you're on the right path, and then you start to think, is this actually what I want to do? Because this opportunity is presenting itself. I could go down this path. And like you kind of said, how life used to be is you grew up, you went to work, you did the same job day in, day out, you had a family. That was the path you went down. And I think that's why there's not as much anxiety back then into these days, because there are so many opportunities that presents itself. Now, that can come from a positive light and a negative light. Positive light, so many opportunities, incredible. There's so many things coming your way that you can take on board, go down X, Y, Z, but it can also be so overwhelming and you can get caught in going down too many paths that you actually aren't feeling like you're being successful in one area. And I think that is what we both struggle with the most, is we want so many different things. You want the YouTube, you want the business, you want to travel, you want to coach, all of these things. And same with me. It's like I want to do prep clients, but then I want to do lifestyle, but then I also want to do some type of YouTube and social media and corporate. And it's like, holy shit, there's so much going on. Podcasting. I'm overwhelmed. Yeah. And then it gets to a point where you just fully back off.
Yeah. So I'm going to use myself for an example.
Let's go.
Because you guys know I've been working towards starting my redirecting my business, my coaching page, to more around athlete mentoring. And I posted, at the time of recording, I posted like a little sneak peek last night. And I was like, cool, I'm going to launch Sunday. And it's so, like, I'm so excited about it because I know how much of a difference I will make in the industry and how much I can help the up and coming generations based off what I have been through throughout my career as well. And so I know that it's so important to fulfill that role that I feel like I needed. And it's just things like, you know, when I was training, mindset wasn't a common conversation. Mental health, like, was not spoken about. like you can't have mental health. Like it just wasn't a thing. No doctors could help me. My mum couldn't help me. Like there's so many things that I have learned where I can now help and guide the next generation. So I know for a fact that it's going to help make a difference. But there's just also so much block around it being like, oh, like who's going to want this? Like are the kids actually going to benefit? Like do they even want to listen to me talking? Like there's just so many stories that come up in my head consistently, and then I come back to like, well fuck, I know I want to make YouTube full time, so should I just stop the coaching and just like go all in on socials and then also like focus on the podcast because I absolutely love that. And then there's been this other opportunity that's come up which like I can't say anything yet, but super exciting, and it's been something that I've been figuring out how I can do to help my audience, you know, within Tori's story. And I'm like, this is so aligned, it's so perfect, but it's also another thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm of course going to do it because like I can't say no to this. Like this is so amazing. But yeah, I'm like, fuck, like this is another thing. Like how do I make it all work when it's something I really want? And I absolutely can make it all happen. And even with launching my athlete mentoring, it's like I initially felt like I had to launch and go to 100% when I actually don't want that to be 100. So why do I think it has to launch and do 100?
Yeah.
Like I can just launch, people know it's there, and if I get asked to come and do chats and, you know, I reach out to schools and studios, like cool, it happens. And I start to make a difference and then eventually launch a podcast for that.
Yes.
So it's like the message will get out there, but it doesn't have to mean it goes full time because I don't even want it full time.
That's something I also want to touch on is when you start a new project, when you start a new passion, you don't have to give it 110% for other areas to drop off. That is what perfectionism can get caught in, and that can actually hold you back more than anything in the world. When we start a new project, we always wait for the branding to be done, the social media to be done, the 5 episodes in advance to be done if we want to go on a podcast idea. We wait for everything to be perfect before we launch, and that one can give us so much more stress, and it actually takes away from the other areas we are thriving in. My biggest piece of advice is literally to just start whatever you're doing or want to do and don't think, because everything comes after. You have a problem arise, you actually figure it out faster because you've already started.
Yeah.
Rather than being like, oh shit, okay, this has come up, I'll fix that next week and then I'll go live the week after that. It's just starting now.
Yeah, and you can't preempt the problems you're going to come across until you start.
Yeah.
So like for the podcast, we thought we had it all figured out, and then we launched and we're like, fuck, what about this and this and this? Like we still come across problems every single day when we're, you know, uploading the pod or making reels or whatever. But the only way to figure it out is to be in it, because if you try and preempt all the problems you're going to come across, you actually just won't. You won't figure out what it is. But it's like, just like what I always say, like you got to throw yourself in the deep end to figure it out. And the one thing that has stuck with me and that I've been just like anchoring into, like every time I retract, I'm like, no, I just think taking no risk is the risk.
Yeah.
So like,
no risk, no story.
Yeah. So it's just like, if I'm not going to take the risk of going to LA, then I'm actually risking what could happen. Like, do you know what I mean? I feel like I butchered that, but I feel like
I know
you get
exactly
what
you're saying.
Yeah. So
I was going to say, it's in terms of failure as well. We can put failure and something not working in a negative connotation. If a business doesn't work or you don't get the grades you want to in uni, we always use that as to be like, oh my gosh, I'm not smart, I failed, whatever it may be. And yes, it is still really hard. It's not taking away from that, but it's actually using that as a lesson and an opportunity to grow in other areas. Okay, I didn't get into the uni course I wanted to get into. What else is coming up that I can lean into, because maybe that is going to be more for me. I started a podcast and hiring a podcast space is too expensive. I don't have too much time to do it at home by myself. Okay, cool. What now is actually going to present for you instead of maybe doing a podcast? Maybe there's another area you can go 100% in. So it's actually looking at it in a different way. Something else that I listened to a podcast and it was so interesting. Even if you win, like putting for a sporting example, if you win or if you lose, the next day is still going to be identical. You still have to do training. You still have to eat the same healthy food. You still have to do your warm-up recovery routine. So it's also looking at your opportunities in a way of that. If something doesn't work, still show up the exact same way the next day. If something does work, you still show up the same way the next day. Nothing changes whether something's right or wrong. You've just got to keep going.
And it's just always looking at failure as growth.
Yeah.
Like if we didn't fail, then fuck, life would be boring.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't figure out how to keep moving forward. And even that, like, yes, if you win or you lose, the next day is still going to present itself. And it's like, okay, if I lost, what can I change to move forward in a different same direction, but like, so you don't lose again type of situation. But then if you win, you're like, okay, how can I keep pushing forward? So it's like the next day is still going to present, but you got to choose how you show up.
Yeah. The other thing I want to touch on is kind of comparing where you're at to where your friend's at. That can be the most overwhelming thing. And I think that is where I don't really get much anxiety in terms of that side of it, but that's where I feel overwhelmed, is comparing myself to other people. I think we always speak about this on the podcast, but like my friend's launched this business, my friend's doing that, my friend's one step ahead of me. Just being present on your own self, and it's literally your own chapter, is like your first chapter could be their 50th chapter. They've been doing this for 10 years, you've been doing it for 1. And it's really just reflecting and coming back to the present moment. We always want everything right now, especially in this day and age. And if you don't know the direction you want to head and you feel like your friends do, this is what my dad literally still says to this day. He's 60 years old and he always says, I don't know what I want to do when I'm older. I'm like, so you actually have multiple businesses that are very successful. What do you mean? He was like, there's always going to be something more I want to do. I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm older. I'm like, you're 60 and thinking that. So I know that this thought is actually a positive way, because you constantly want more and you know that where you're at isn't for the rest of your life and you can keep doing more things, which is cool. I
was talking to a friend's mum the other day who is like a close friend, and she was just like, I've been so in mum life that I'm not doing anything I enjoy. I don't even know what I enjoy. I don't know what I want to do. She's like, I want to, like, whether it's like start a business or wants to really do something she's passionate about, but she's like, I actually don't know what that is because I've not played with different areas. And I'm like, you're a mum of 2, you're like, you have a good job, you know, like you have a great life, but you can still see that she's like, no, I need to figure out what I want to do for myself.
Yeah.
So it's like, we all just need to like fucking chill out for a second.
Literally take a chill pill, take a step back and just relax.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's just so challenging.
It is.
And even like with my business launch, I was like, oh, I'm going to launch on Sunday. And now I'm like, fuck, do I wait until I get back from LA? Because LA, I just want to go and see what happens. I just don't know. But then I'm like, well, if I launch and in 2 months' time it doesn't work, I just get to not do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. We put so much pressure on our things working and everything being in flow, and it's just okay if something's not working. It's okay if you need to take an extra break. It's okay if your friend's making $1 million and you've had the lowest cash week of your life. It's okay because life keeps moving on and things are going to present itself in a different way at the time that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about should, the mindset mentor.
Yeah.
Let's go into it because I haven't listened to this episode.
So I'm going to explain it as best as I can, but he was basically saying, whoa, my phone's spazzing out. We always constantly say like we should do this and we should do that and we should be at this stage of our life and we should be, like for him it was like people kept saying to him he'd been with his partner for like 6 years, so he should have gotten married and be in a house and whatever. He's like, says who? Like, what rule am I actually following? Because there's no rules to life. We're here to make up our own rules and determine our own life and go down the path that feels right for us. So for as long as you're shoulding yourself, you are shaming yourself.
Okay, that was a very good explanation.
Thank you. So he was just saying like, because yes, this is what like stuck with me, because he was like, if you like should be owning a business, you would be like, that would be your path. So if you're not meant to be. So it's like coming back to, I guess, your alignment. And it's like, for as long as you're shoulding, you're not seeing where like you're currently at, and maybe like because you think you should, but it's not actually in your alignment, in your path. Does that make sense?
That makes complete sense. So it's like, I should be using my marketing degree from uni, but I'm not. So that's not my path. We always think and make up stories to be able to utilize certain parts, or like we think we want one thing because everyone else is doing it. But if you actually were meant to have that, you would be doing it, or you would. Yeah.
So, and what I was kind of like taken from that episode was like a lot of people feel the pressure from other people, whether that be their friends, family, partner, whatever, parents. They're always going to project on you what their what did I say? What their expectations are and from like society's pressures in their head. So if like say my mum, for example, she's grew up knowing that you have to be married and have a house by 25. So I should be doing that because I'm turning 25 this year because that's her expectation. But in my head, I'm like, oh, no, I'm chill. Like me and Jackson will get a house when we're ready. Like we're going to travel, we'll have kids whenever. Like we're just like having our own timeline to that suits us and what we want to do in our life. So instead of sitting back and maybe you've started a uni course because your parents said you should do it or because someone you really look up to said you should do it. But in reality, you're like, I actually don't fucking want to do this.
Yeah.
It's only going to set you back because you're actually just wasting time. And you will get to a stage, whether it's 3 years into that uni course or 6 years into that job, that you're like, I actually never wanted to do this. Yeah. And I just did it because someone said I should, and then I did, and now I actually don't want to do it, and I hate it.
That is
so you wasted 5, 6, 4 years, 3 months, whatever it is.
That is so common, doing things for the sake of doing them. That's what we get caught up in. A lot of people, like even interesting last episode, talking about sunrise walk, and Alexis was like, how the hell do you, I don't want to get up at 5 a.m. But a lot of people like, oh my God, I really want to get up at 5 a.m. I need to get up at 5 a.m. to be successful.
To be sexy.
To be sexy. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's society's pressure thinking, and especially Australia, Gold Coast, if you get up, you're a successful person.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean
and
that
I've
at all.
even like probably come into that this week. Like I've not wanted to get up for sunrise at all this week. Yeah. So I just haven't. Yeah. But I've also like been like, oh, well, I should be getting up because and I've still, in a sense, like I've gotten up later, but I haven't done my routines. That's where I'm disappointed. Yes. But I don't care that I haven't gotten up earlier. I've fucking loved sleeping in. Yeah. And I think because like Jackson works early Monday, Tuesday, and Monday, Tuesday, I'm like, we're start of the week, we're going strong. But then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm like, I can actually chill. And I have.
And you have. Yeah. I feel like that's a very good example because not everyone wants to own a business, and you don't need to own your own business either. So it's taking what we're saying right now into other areas of your life. To be fit, you don't have to go to the gym. Even if you think that's the only way, you can just go for walks. You can just do Pilates. Exactly. Last episode we spoke about, you can actually do anything you want. You're just putting that own expectation on yourself to be something that you're not, and you're playing into something that you're not, and you're never actually going to be happy. The other thing I've been thinking about this week, and not to be like the bearer of bad news, I don't know how to explain it, but no one actually cares about you. Yeah. Realistically, no one cares besides your family and close friends in a way of like they want you to succeed. But when it comes down to day-to-day things, no one cares what you're doing. And even just kind of reflecting back to myself, no one cares if I'm doing cardio. No one cares if I'm going for a walk. And sometimes I feel the pressure, oh my God, I have to post this to prove that I'm actually doing these things.
And people still like, people message me being like, I wake up and go onto your page to see what you've posted for the morning. And so, yes, you're going to have impact, and we're choosing to post these things to, you know, have impact. But at the end of the day, if we didn't show up and stop social media, like these people would still go on. Yeah. Like doesn't mean their life stops because ours stops. So yes, they're taking inspiration and motivation, and, you know, that's what we love to do. So we do that. But it doesn't mean that we have to show up to prove to them or to be on this pedestal. And that's why I think I've been opening up more about like business struggles and stuff, because I'm like, well, I don't have to prove to you that I have to have a successful business. I'm doing this because it's a passion of mine. I'm not showing up and making a business to prove to my followers that I'm going to be successful. Yeah. I'm doing it because I love it. Yeah. 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 I love that. So going into little things that we do when we're feeling overwhelmed, I feel like we have very similar kind of routines when it comes to this, and it actually just gets to be simple. Again, when we're feeling overwhelmed, we're feeling anxious, what do? We go back to basics.
Basics.
So when you can master the basics, you are going to be able to prolong these periods of times where you get overwhelmed and feel these feelings. Like for me, it used to be like every single day. And now it's like every couple of weeks if I've missed a few things or if I've neglected some things. And I'm like, what have I neglected? The basics. Yep. So if I continue, and this is where I think I was listening to Mindset Mentor this morning, but he was like, have a list of things for your mind, your body. I actually don't know what the third thing was, but like for your mind, it's like reading, meditation, breath work, whatever. Then your body, it's like physical movement, exercise, walking, whatever it is. And have these things there as your basics, but doesn't mean you have to get up and do them every single morning. It's like you can literally get up and be like, this morning I feel like reading, so I'm going to do that. And then tomorrow morning you might wake up and be like, I actually don't fucking want to read today. I just want to do meditation and put music on.
Yep.
Or I want to dance around the lounge room and clean my house. Like, do what feels good for you, not because, again, you feel like you have to because you've set this routine. If you're constantly working in a state of like, I have to, I should, it's never going to be English. It's never going to be, what word do I use for that? It's never going to be, you're never going to enjoy it.
Okay, there
That's
we
what
go.
I was trying to say. Whoa, I just had a full brain fart.
Yeah.
But yeah, go.
Okay, so my biggest things, brain dump. Get it
Yeah.
out of your head. Write it down. You probably have heard us say these all the time, but if you're not doing them, rethink and reevaluate because it works an absolute treat. I'm talking about the smallest things. It's like, do my washing, put that down. Make my bed, put that down. Need to book my hair, put that down. Put everything down that's in your head on a sheet of paper because then you declutter your brain.
Your brain dump can even be like your journaling.
Yes.
So you could even be like, get out on paper how exactly you're feeling. So then you can look at it like, I feel like today I need to do that because a few things have happened. I feel frazzled about it. You could probably, I feel like my energy's coming off. So I hope it's not bad. But I just see like there's a few things that's come up. I'm like, I need to just get my thoughts out on paper so I can read them back, acknowledge how I'm feeling, and then be like, how do I move forward from here? Because I'm frazzled.
I do this a lot at night because sometimes I'm like, I need to do so many things. I actually said this to a client the other day. She was like, I feel like I do everything at night and then I can't sleep. And then I have poor quality sleep. And then it's a cycle that I just can't get out of. The other night, there is 5 things I could have done. Absolutely. And I wanted to do all 5 things. I sat with myself and said, is anyone dying if I don't do these things? No. So what did I do? Write it all down on a piece of paper. That is my tomorrow's problem. Right now I'm getting into bed, reading and relaxing because that is what my nervous system needed.
Yeah.
Helped so much. And sometimes it's literally reevaluating, coming down so simply. Is anyone going to die in the next 24 hours if I'm not doing this? Cool, no? Well, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Like actually relax. But brain dumping is a huge one. Next one, switching off and getting off your phone.
Yeah.
Your phone, we both work on our phone. We love social media, but can also be negative if you're using it in the wrong light and tends to happen when we're feeling overwhelmed.
I feel like the last few weeks I've been like, not addicted, but I'm like, I'm going on it so much and not even for any reason.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally just I'll open up Instagram and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
So really interesting you say that because obviously I deleted TikTok whole of January. I got it back for Taylor Swift and then just didn't delete it again. I haven't like been posting or anything, but I noticed when I first got it back, did not go on it. Like I didn't even think about going on it. Then at night I started to be like, oh, I'm in bed really early. I'll just scroll for a bit. Then that habit started to come back into light and my fingers started to automatically click onto TikTok when I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
That wasn't happening 2 weeks earlier when it was just there. So you actually build up that habit and like you're like starting to go on social media more just for like no reason. And you're building up that habit. So you actually have to break it. Takes 30 days, if not longer, to fully break that habit. So the more you do something and the more you get caught in that circle, the easier it is to literally go on social media.
Yeah, you could even do something simple as like move the app around on your phone.
Yes.
So like
take it off your home
tricky.
screen.
Yeah.
You have to type it in. That's what I do for a lot of my like social media apps. It helps so much. But it's crazy when you open your phone and your thumb automatically just goes there and you're like, so what am I doing? Or you post a story or photo and then you end up scrolling. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God. I've seen this every single second I go on it. Nothing's new.
Yeah.
Yep.
Literally.
Next one. For me, it's clean space.
Yes.
Declutter your mind, declutter your space. You have to. It just makes the biggest difference.
Yeah, I feel like my room at the moment, there's shit everywhere. Our lounge room.
Yeah, look, the lounge room situation, I haven't said anything because I'm like.
No, but it's like, where do we put our suitcases? We don't have storage.
Exactly why I haven't said anything because I was like looking at it. I'm like,
it's so annoying.
Where does
like,
it go?
All our gym bags, like me, Lil Jackson, have like all our black gym bags, and then Jackson's got his footy bag, and they all just sit like under the stairs, but
swag.
it doesn't cover the swag. Like, we have nowhere else to put it.
One thing Jackson can fix is the boxes.
Yeah, I don't know why.
There's
it's
7
really
boxes of shoes under there. I'm like, Jackson, half of them are empty. Let's do something about that. And then our recycling
That's
as
this
well.
weekend's job.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But clean space, clean mind.
Yeah.
Reading.
Yeah.
Personally, loving it at the moment. You're probably sick of me talking about it, but I'm going to continue. It just helps, again, getting off your phone and just doing something that is mindless, distracting.
And just like out of your world.
Out of your world. I tell you, this is a little bit off topic. I think that reading is giving me an unrealistic expectation of love.
Yeah.
That's like,
I can feel that. Like even after reading November 9, I'm like, interesting.
Why is Jackson not flying to see me? Yeah. Anyways, that's another conversation.
But then also like if that's the love you want, you can get that love.
Tori was at the gym yesterday and she was like, there's a hot guy here, blonde hair. And I was like, take a photo for me this time. Takes a photo, sent it to me. And I was like, okay, first off, he looks 19. And she was like, no, I promise he doesn't. And then I said, he's not giving, owns a private jet. That is the
so then it's a no.
era I'm in. So it's a no. If you don't have a yacht, a Lamborghini, a private jet, don't want it.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And that is what we are.
You will find a man
who
has those things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next, my favourite, home-cooked meals.
Yep.
Nothing beats it. Nothing ever will.
What's your go-to home-cooked meal?
Roast veggies, 1000%, and just like chicken.
Yeah, super basic.
And just,
or like
pesto pasta.
You and Jackson would say chicken.
I know.
You guys haven't been having pesto pasta as much lately.
Nah, we've both kind of gone off the pasta train, to be honest.
Do you think that's because we're having so much of it?
No, like I still love it. I'm just trying not to have like rice or pasta. I just wasn't feeling amazing. Yeah, skin wise. Just focusing on like the more proteins and veggies.
I'm actually so excited to go into my cooking era very shortly. I freaking love it. Just trying so many different meals and things like that, because I used to I feel like I was one of those people, and I feel like I'm going to be a mum like this. You get a different dinner every single night.
Yeah.
So when I was with my ex-partner, from Monday through to Friday, for example, I'd have Monday would have homemade burgers, Tuesday butter chicken, Wednesday stir fry, Thursday steaks, and Friday homemade pizza. Yeah. Like that's what we would do every single week. Grocery bill was really expensive, but then he would have the leftovers for lunch as well. So it kind of worked, but yeah, I'm excited to get back into that.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to start cooking.
And then finally, this kind of contradicts what I said in terms of no one dying, but get your tasks done, then relax. Rather than sitting on the couch and being like, oh my God, there's so many things I have to do, but then you're trying to relax, but then you can't get out of your own head. Actually, just put your timer on, 15 minutes, get those small tasks done, then relax.
I think it's just a matter of like, you know, like the other night you were like, I actually can do these tasks tomorrow and I will benefit from resting right now.
Yeah.
Or maybe if you had a bit more energy, you would have been like, no, I'm going to get these tasks done now, then relax. And then I know I don't have to do them tomorrow, so I can have a period of my day tomorrow where I do relax.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So it's just like picking your battles, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on and go into there?
No.
Easy. Well, that was pretty much everything for our anxiety in your 20s. It's a lot. And just know that you're not alone. We are all going through it in some way, shape or form. Someone may be stressed about trying to buy a house and you may be stressed trying to find a job, and that is okay. We are all on our own paths and you will get to where you want to be eventually. It's just a matter of continually showing up for yourself. Yeah. I have a listener question.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Are you good?
No, I was going to touch on really quickly being present.
Okay. If you want to go into that, go into that.
No, you go.
Okay. Interesting. Anyways, so this is a little bit off topic from today, but I know we get a lot of questions about reverse dieting and how to do all of that. So this one's actually a very good question. So, hello. I'm wondering if you could do an episode, but we're going to use it as a conversation today, on reverse dieting and how it helped you both in either pre-comp or lifestyle. I'm feeling a little stuck eating 17/1800 calories a day, and it's becoming my maintenance. I'm wanting to do a lot of running this year and fuel up for it, but I'm scared to put on weight if I eat any more. Any advice would be great because I'm scared how to navigate it all. That's really interesting in terms of your lower calories becoming your maintenance. When you stick at that number for too long, your body's going to adapt. For example, my growing phase maintenance was a lot higher than what my maintenance is currently going to be. It's dropped down a significant amount. So you almost have to get used to your body eating more.
Yeah, you have to train your body.
You have to train your body. Just like you have to train your muscles to lift heavier, you have to train your metabolism to eat more. And it's not a matter of going from 0 to 100. right? We're not doing that at all. I'm talking every 2 to 3 weeks, increase your calories from roughly 50 to 150 calories, depending how your body's responding.
Yeah.
When you initially increase your calories, expect your weight to go up, and then it will stabilize again.
Yeah.
Especially if you are tracking, mainly focus on increasing your carb intake. When you increase your carb intake, it takes a little bit longer for your body to adjust, and then it settles again. And that's just going to be a constant cycle of you just weighing yourself, seeing how you're feeling. But also, if you don't want to do that metric side of it, you don't have to. Just literally be like, okay, I'm going to incorporate a banana into my diet every day for the next week. Then the week after, I'm going to put banana on 2 rice thins. Literally simple things like that. Instead of having just rice for dinner, have rice and pumpkin.
Yeah.
It's little things like that. We think we have to go to the extreme level. And also just know, the more you eat, the better you're going to feel. Like, just think about your body and how much better it's going to thrive when you start to eat more. And it can be scary because you're like, I don't want to gain all of this weight. But also just know that you're going to have more energy to push into the gym. You're actually going to have more lean muscle mass. And then you're going to be able to run further. And that goes hand in hand with feeling fitter as well.
Yeah. It's definitely a scary thing. Like, I remember the first time when I had the conversation with Jackson, he's like, all right, we need to start getting you to eat more. It was so fucking scary because all I was scared of then was putting on weight. And I think the moment that and don't get me wrong, this has taken me a very long time, but the moment that I realized I was eating more to feel better and train better, it didn't really become about how I looked, because then if you how do I word this? If you change the way you look at it, what you look at will change.
Wow.
So that, and I said this the other week in one of the episodes, like, when I changed the way I looked at my body is the way that my body changed when I looked at it, if that makes sense. So it's like, when you can flip your mindset, it's going to change your perspective on it. Yeah. So I think when you're like, okay, I want to start running more and doing more, it's like, okay, now I need to start fueling to do that, and be grateful that you can, but definitely take it slow.
Yeah.
Because like Lil said, it could be adding a banana in, which is not much.
Yeah.
It can be adding pumpkin. It doesn't mean you have to be adding a whole nother meal or all these ridiculous amounts of calories. Like, just slowly increase. And if you're already tracking, then like just continue tracking and just add little bits.
Yeah.
Over a week, 2 weeks.
And for example, after comp, this is what people kind of forget about. After comp, my calories are still low. I have to build it. Oh, when I tell you it tests you, it tests you.
It'd probably be like one of the hardest parts.
It is, because you have a few days where you don't track. It's like 3 days after you compete, you don't really track. If you don't want to train, you don't have to. Give yourself a little bit of rest there. But then you seriously have to get straight back into it, or else your body's going to rebound and rebound fast and hard. You're going to pretty much fuck everything up. Your discipline after comp has to nearly be even better than your discipline during comp, because it's easy. You have a goal. After comp, you don't. It's and like there and you can eat it.
Yeah. We'll absolutely be having fishbowl and sushi.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, a few days after comp, but it's like then you get back into routine. Yeah. To help your body reverse. And then it's like,
and I still will go out for those dinners and I still will do all those things, but it's making sure I have my breakfast tracked, my snack tracked, my lunch snacks. My calories will increase and relatively fast, but you still need to do it slowly too. So it's, I'm not coming out of comp and being straight back up to 2,000 calories. Yeah. No. It takes time to build it back up so your body can adjust. So it's just being disciplined with yourself too, pushing through that and proving to yourself. And sometimes you need to see that validation that what you're doing is working. Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
That's our episode for today. But I firstly just want to apologize in case my energy came off like shit this week.
No, I think you would do so fine.
Okay. I just feel so rattled, and I think like this episode explained exactly how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But I feel like I just need to go reassess my life.
I think sometimes it's good to know that we are also going through it, and both of us are going through it in such different ways, which is also a really interesting thing. And it's just keeping how you're feeling relative. If someone's going through heavier shit than you, it doesn't make your problems any less valid. Just know that everyone feels chaotic here and there, and sometimes you can be on. You may have the best afternoon of your life and you had a rattled morning, or vice versa, and it's just okay.
Or you just had a shit week.
And that is okay.
And even just like, I feel like last year I was so focused in on my health, skin, and that was always getting me down. And now I'm like, that's thriving, I'm letting it go. And now because I'm so in business, I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it's just changed. The dynamics have changed, but yeah, it's interesting.
It is. Well, thank you guys for listening to another episode. We will be in your ears next week, and I hope you have the most slayful day.
Yes, enjoy. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.